Okay. Okay. Hi. Hey, challenge team. This is Patty and Eric Garner, and I want to introduce you to um, Eric as somebody who's done really good on the team challenge wall. And as I watch his comments and posts, I got excited about how he's using the challenge to encourage others and promoting health. So I just wanted to touch base with him to see if he had tips for the rest of us. So welcome, Eric, and thank you for doing this afternoon. What was your goal when you started the challenge?
My goal when the challenge started was to, uh, I did want to lose some weight, but I also wanted to observe the challenge because this was the first thing such as this that I've ever participated in, and I wanted to experience it to see how this, how it worked, the amount of education you may get, and the experience of interacting with others and supporting each other. So I brought that together as an educational thing for me.
Oh, okay. And so what was your takeaway?
Well, the takeaway was I truly enjoyed the experience because every day I started my day with the different readings and exercises and things like that. So that by starting your day that way versus I had usually watched the news and other things, it set me in a little bit of a different frame of mind than perhaps would have been. And then I would do more healthy things, like actually start with breakfast first thing and get moving with my day. And then get busy around the house or doing whatever I wanted to do or get outside and exercise. I mean, all those things came about with it.
Because of a good start of the day.
Yeah.
Right.
And as well, that was the start of the day. Then I would check for postings throughout the day and then at night at the same time. And then, be able to comment on other people's challenge comments, things like that, and learn from those, as well as at night, even before you get ready to go to bed, realize what your day actually had achieved, by the journaling, by the we're sometimes rereading and also enjoying the post and having, I like to throw a little humor in things, so you would see sometimes some funny posts from me.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. Humor's good. So would you say you're on track to achieve did you have a health goal in mind too, and were you on track to achieve that over these last 6 weeks?
Yes, I earlier this year I had actually done the 5-in-1 program and lost 40 or so pounds, and then about the time I was coming off of that was when I went on a cruise and other vacations, and some of the old habits kind of slipped back in for a little bit. So I was getting ready. I was in the process of revisiting all that and getting right back on course. And then the challenge came available. And so I've utilized the challenge as well as the other things I was driving toward. And I've probably lost somewhere in the neighborhood of about 9 pounds or so.
Over the course
maybe even a little bit more.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. What has the challenge platform meant to you from an encouragement standpoint?
Very much, it helped me with focus because as you've seen me on some of the meetings and others probably have too, I kid around about, I can be very distractible, and I say that with, having to laugh about it. But by being able to look at the different topics that are presented and the posts and things like that, the platform kept me more focused, kept me more involved. And then, of course, you get more out of that and you can apply it. And to me, that was a big benefit. And the platform being, technology based, being a person that worked with technology, I thoroughly enjoyed that. And that helps draw in, in people also. To be able to sign in from my phone if I'm somewhere, to be able to sign in from an iPad if I'm somewhere, or like now from my desk, there's no reason not to have access most all the time to visit it and utilize what's there for us.
Yep, that's great. How were you able to get so many points given your busy schedule?
Well, I made it a habit. And, and sometimes those for me can be a challenge, but by every day, I would make sure that I started the day by doing several of the activities and grabbing the points. Then, the bonuses that would come up, those were, principally for my own good or first and foremost, but also for the team, because some of the things were things, share, interact with the team. And that's a big part of it, is by having those as areas where you can obtain points, then of course you can utilize those and support the team. And I'm fortunate with my busy schedule to also have a good amount of flexible time in that. I can kind of call my day my own most of the time.
Mm-hmm. So did you find it time?
That's a benefit of a lot of years.
Go ahead.
I said that's a benefit derived from a lot of years of not having time to myself. The gray hair speaks.
Yeah. Did you find it? But how many minutes did it take to do this a day? Was it time consuming or not?
It was not time consuming as far as I'm concerned. I mean, you figured the morning, I'll call it the morning ritual of going through the readings, the ebook, the exercises, reviewing posts, could have easily been in anywhere from say a 10 to 15 minutes, depending on how much you were involved in it, things like that. And then you go about your day, and then later in the day, see what's going on, check in, see how other people are doing. We do have the time zone portion of this, so you could get people checking in from, Colorado or the West Coast, East Coast. And having worked with global time zones before, I'm very attuned to watching for things that could get updated globally. And so I would do that, and then I would check in the evening, and I would usually check and finish up the rest of the daily requirements, if you will, before late evening or before going to bed.
Okay, great. The points are fun to get, but what are you learning from the challenge that's going to help you beyond the challenge?
Yeah, I agree. The points for me were secondary to the fact that every day there was things to learn, new things to apply. They come from the habits of health. Some of them come from truly common sense, if we can really think about it like that. So for me, it's finding that way after the challenge to keep the focus going. And we've talked about possibly having, like a Facebook group or something else, or I'm going to probably plot out my own schedule in such a way that I do some work, if not every day, most days, to better myself and keep the focus.
Oh, that's great. I love that. So what's the one thing, and you might have already answered this, what is the one thing that's going to make the difference for you, do you think, in achieving and, more importantly, maintaining your health goals?
I guess the main thing for me has to be focus, because otherwise I'll speak, in my case, I could very easily, I could drift off to a bad habit or something like that. So I'm truly saying focus and education is a big part of it. And then using, habits of health, proper planning and knowing, where my Achilles heel type of issues are. Yeah, you've heard me kid around about ice cream on here. I've got to do it. I can't help but do it. I mean,
get out of the grocery store without it, and then you're usually home free. That's the way it is for me. So,
and that's exactly what I've been doing. And during this 6 weeks of the challenge, when I've gone to the grocery store, I'm going there usually with specific things in mind. It's usually in the veggies, a little bit in the dairy area, and maybe a little bit in the protein deli type stuff. And even though, as we've kidded around on some of our other Zoom meetings, I've tortured myself by going and looking at an ice cream, but I also didn't pick it up. And for me, that's a little bit of personal conditioning. You got to do it. It's torture, but sometimes you got to do it.
Okay. Any questions about the resources within the challenge that can help you on your journey?
As far as, you mean all the different like readings and all those types of things?
Yeah, I mean, you're a Take Shape for Life person, so you know about the ebook and that you have access to that entire piece.
Right.
What about the I don't know if you like the exercise videos, but that you're able to go in there under the more other important things and actually copy that link, and you'll have access to all of those exercises.
Yes.
The readings, the daily readings, I was just looking at those. I don't know if that's the same thing. If we can copy and paste that URL and have all of those readings from the last 42 days. But anyway, any questions about any of that?
Other than I'm going to have to go out there and, save those links and make those available after the challenge. I mean, that'll be the easy thing to get done.
And I think that
And then,
that might be today.
oh, you have to get it today?
I think I would encourage you to, because I know that we can weigh out all the way up until Thursday, but I'm not sure we'll have access to all of those readings and things past today. So
I'll probably look at it sometime today. And come up with, if not, I'll probably have to talk to some people I know and say, hey, did you save those links?
Yeah,
maybe,
me.
or maybe we can come up with if we could come up with a master list that we could send out to one another, that might be something.
Yeah, that's on my list to do that today. So yeah, we talked about tentatively what to do when the challenge is over. Are you interested in joining a secret Facebook group because I feel like we're a family now, to be able to continue to encourage each other. The next challenge being in January, in the interim, would that be of interest to you to do that?
Yes, that'd be good, because
Okay.
We're coming up on some of the toughest
Right.
couple of months of trying to stay within the healthy guidelines.
Right.
I'm anticipating probably a couple of Thanksgiving situations. So, but
Yes.
at the same time, I think it would be good, and we use what tools are available to us.
Okay. And do you think you'll do our next challenge?
Yeah, I'm already planning on doing it.
Okay.
And as you know, I went into this one with the idea that I wanted to learn and understand it.
Right.
And it all worked, and pretty quickly I realized it's a very good thing.
Okay. Would you consider being a team leader and have a room of your own?
That is now more prevalent in my mind, to be thinking like that.
Okay.
Again, I'm one that likes to try something before I necessarily recommend things.
Right.
And that's how we worked on this one. That's how I did it.
Okay. So they're recommending, just inviting and having a minimum of 10 people in a room, and then you can be have your own room. Great. Any last thoughts or comments?
I'm just going to say, I think it was a very good forum, a very good team, great coach. I enjoyed most of our Zoom meetings were on Sunday nights. We could usually have a good laugh or two on there.
Yeah.
To me, a lot of this can be very serious if we let it, but I think we also need to have some humor and be able to chuckle at ourselves and as you know me, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah. I think we had a great team. Everybody was very encouraging and had a lot of heart to help one another. So I was extremely proud of the group of people in our room. So I'm looking forward to the next challenge, and I thank you very much for your time and your wise thoughts today.
Hey, that's totally fine. I appreciate your time and effort throughout this. And as they say, may the force be with us.
Yeah, the force is with us. All right. Thank you, Eric. Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.